All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being patient, and we still don't have 100% back on the computer, and we're going to see how it works, but we'll be able to give you the votes and everything. Have to do it verbally instead of visually like we have been able to do. This is the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission meeting. Immediately following the September 14th rescheduled special meeting, October the 12th. Will staff please call the roll?
Seeger. Here. Ress. Here. McInnes. Here. Willie. Here. Doherty.
Here.
Barcelona.
Here.
Fitzmaurice.
Here.
Crawford.
Here.
Randolph.
Here.
Truxillo.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Public announcements, please silence all phones and electronic devices. Appeals, there's appeal cards on the railing to my right. Please complete an appeal card if you wish to appeal any of the cases. Speaker cards, they're on the railing to my right. And again, if you wish to speak, please complete one of the speaker cards and turn it in to staff, and they'll get it up here to us. Public speaking, 10 minutes each side and 5 minutes for rebuttal. After the case is heard, please exit the building. Please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Randolph and the pledge by Commissioner Seeger.
Heavenly Father, once again, we come to you to say thank you for your many blessings. We thank you for these meetings tonight. We thank you for this commission, and Lord, we thank you for our staff and employees, our leaders. Lord, we thank you for the citizens that we represent and serve. We ask all these blessings in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, staff, we have any requests for postponement?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have a request, number 7 on the agenda, on the second page, 2021-25-68 PP.
Okay, that's the only one?
Correct.
Okay, let me read this into the record. Item 7 is 2021-25-68 PP. Bontero Subdivision, Phases 2 and 3, Developer Owner, Lynn Levy Land Company, LLC. Engineer Surveyors, J.B. Burks and Associates Incorporated. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Mike Smith. General location, the property is located on the east and west sides of North Military Road, Louisiana Highway 1090, north of U.S. Interstate 12, Slidell, Ward 8, District 9. I need a motion. Do you want to comment, Jeff?
No, sir, not if there's a motion. I didn't know I would be
Okay,
needed.
all right. Commissioner Crawford.
Motion to postpone.
Motion by
to the next
Commissioner
meeting.
Crawford to postpone for 1 month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Willie.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Willie. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
All right, thank you. All right. Entering parish right-of-way, servitudes, easements, and Tammany trace. You don't have any. Revocation review, you don't have any. We go to minor subdivisions. Item 1 is 2021-2546-MSP, a minor subdivision of 0.75 acre and 0.75 acre into parcel A and B. Owner and representative is Philip M. and Cherry V. Star. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Riker Toledano. General location, the parcel located on the west side of 3rd Street, north of Hellenberg Road, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from .75 and .75 acres. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcels A and B are less than 1 acre in size and requiring a waiver of the regulation from the Planning Commission. And parcels A and B do not meet the minimum lot width of 90 feet required under the A4 Single Family Residential Zoning District and requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission. The request shall be subject to the items I just identified, as well as items 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed on the staff report.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please state your name and address.
Philip Starr, Covington.
Okay, all right. There was one correction, item 2, which simply changes the wording from street to avenue. And I believe this is the one that had the wrong actual location. Is it, am I right on that, Taya?
Excuse me?
It had, the wrong location, I believe. It was-
Yeah, this is mostly, the comments are mostly for the surveyors, it's just, just information, additional information being requested that the surveyor will just have to add to the survey. But basically, if you look at the survey, I know that the dash line is not very dark, but the owner is requesting to move the line a little bit further north to just be away from the existing accessory building that is there. The previous line goes over the overhang.
Okay, so we're square on that then?
Yes, we'll just send the information to the surveyor. They'll just have to amend the survey and resubmit.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Barcelona.
I move to approve with the waivers.
Motion by Commissioner Barcelona to approve with the waivers. Commissioner Willie.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Willie. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve with waiver carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, the next item is item 2, 2021-2547-MSP, a minor subdivision of 11.65 acres into parcels A and B. Owner and representative is Sheila L. McKee. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the parcel is located on the end of Fusel Cemetery Road northeast, north of Fusel Cemetery Road, Covington, Ward 2, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from 11.65 acres. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcels A and B do not meet the minimum lot width of 300 feet required under the A1 Suburban Zoning District and requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission. And parcels A and B do not have Parish Road frontage requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission. And the request shall be subject to items 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed on the staff report.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
And you are?
Sheila, S-H-E-L-I-A, L. McKee.
Okay.
Address 82444 Highway 437, Covington, Louisiana, 70435.
Okay.
Okay, I'm requesting that partial A and, which in partial B, which is a total of 11.65 acres, be subdivided, minor subdivision.
Okay. All right, anything else?
That's it. It's on Fusel Cemetery Road northeast.
Okay, all right. Let's see, thank you, ma'am. I've got a lot of cards here. All right, thank you, ma'am. We'll probably call you back up in a little bit. All right, I have a card on Christine Matthews. You do not wish to speak, right? Okay. That was against, I'm sorry. Mark Durham is, do not wish to speak, and that's against. David Phelps is against and wishes to speak. David?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, my name's David Phelps. My wife Deborah and I live at 82411 Fusel Cemetery Road Northeast. We're neighbors of this property. And I'd like to start by saying I have take no pleasure in standing here and opposing a neighbor's request to rezone her property. The fact of the matter is, though, allowing this would allow 2 lots where there is 1. And I heard a commissioner say earlier that big lots are good, and we are in full agreement, my wife and I, that bigger lots are better. This would make smaller lots without the proper width and without the frontage onto the Parish Road, and we think that would not be good for the neighborhood. We moved here a year ago into our land, and one of the reasons we moved was because of the zoning, and we wanted to be out of the city. We wanted to be in a place where we knew that we'd have nice big lots and nice neighbors, but also, reasonable distance between us. And I think this would be contrary to the law that we as we understood when we came here. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, I have a card on Deborah DeProto. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Commissioners, and that's close enough. DePrato, however it comes out is fine. That's my husband, David Phelps, who just spoke, and I just wanted to say again that we haven't even met Miss McKee, our neighbor, and I hate that this is how we meet her, but we love our property, and we're just concerned about what actually is going to happen and the space issues. And to me, the zoning laws that you guys have created are appropriate, and a lot of thought went into those, and I would just hope that we could keep what we have. We love it here. We've been here a year, and we sure would like to keep our street the same way. So thank you for your time and listening to us on this. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. I have a card on Lana Durham, but it's marked against, but doesn't say whether you want to speak or not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mark that part.
Okay,
My name is Lana Durham, and I live at the end of Fusel Cemetery Road with my husband. And to reiterate what David and Deborah have said, we love our area out there. Our nearest neighbor is the cemetery, and that's one of the reasons that drew us out to that area. We love the ruralness of it and the wide open space, and we just would like to keep the area the way it is. Thank
Okay.
you.
thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Jim Matthews. Okay,
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so we purchased this property probably about a year ago for me, my wife, and my in-laws who just spoke. My wife is present. My concern with the proposed parcels is the access road, which is a shared access road that we currently use. My property is 20 acres north of the proposed parcel A, and the access road is east of the proposed parcel A and B. So there is a concern there. My 20 acres is basically north of this property, and David, who just spoke, his property is south. So this proposed property is kind of sandwiched in between. I've actually kind of off the record spoke to Ms. Sheila. I think it'd be a great property for us to buy. I would love the opportunity to do so. But we come here today as just proud landowners. This is kind of our American dream, and we would like to keep it the way it is. Thank you.
okay, thank you. All right, we've had both sides speak on this, so let's go to rebuttal. Ms. McKee?
Yes, Okay, this property, I'm just trying to give, she's like my daughter, half the property, where she can eventually build one day on this property. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Those of you that spoke, do you wish to have anything in rebuttal? Yes, sir, come up.
Yeah, just my quick rebuttal is, if we're talking, and I have not spoke to Ms. Sheila about this, I would love the opportunity to speak to her, maybe not in this forum, but if we're talking about 11-acre piece of property that she would like to give someone that she views as her daughter, why does it need to be subdivided into 2 pieces of property? She only mentioned one person that she would like to give this property to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to respond to that? Helen?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the owner, Mrs. McKee, can confirm, but she wishes to, keep a portion and maybe donate the other portion. Maybe she can confirm.
Helen, you are correct.
Okay,
And then in the near future, I may want to sell or give the other piece to other family members.
okay, all right. All right, so we've had both sides. Any further discussion from the public? I'll close it to the public, bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
This is a clarification that I'd like on the record for staff. Can you tell us how many houses are allowed in A1 suburban and RO, the rural overlay, please?
It's 1 per 5 acres. So having 11.65, so divided by 2, only one house could be constructed on each parcel.
So seeing that exceeds the 5-acre minimal, I'll move to approve with the waivers.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I add a comment before the vote? And I'd like to bring to your attention, the items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, where it comes in regards to the servitude, the private servitude access. This servitude access agreement has not been provided to us, and it appears that other parties who just spoke are involved or in the maintenance or have access. So it may require some more information in regards to the servitude of access and the possibility or the approval to subdivide here. So I'm not sure, I just want to make sure that the owner is aware of this condition and that this document will have to be provided. But if the servitude is owned by multiple parties, then I think it's something to take into consideration, and maybe legal can share some light as well, or add some comments.
Okay, Helen?
Based on the staff's comments, has that servitude of passage been provided
No,
as part
ma'am.
of the application?
No, this is information that we're requesting. It hasn't been provided.
Okay, and to the applicant, Ms. McKee, do you have an existing servitude that would allow you to access the proposed parcel A?
Yes, ma'am, we have, it's a private road. Fasell Cemetery Road is a private road. It's a public road. It goes all the way from Highway 437. It goes all the way back to the cemetery.
If I'm not mistaken, according to our map, it stops at your property.
And that's what was unclear to me on the survey, is
Yeah.
where that road ends.
According to our map, it stops at the beginning of parcel B.
Where is the cemetery in relation to this?
To the end of the road, my property, when you come in from Fussell Cemetery Road, you make the curve, and you got, which was Aunt Corman's old house, the tennis court, my property joins right there by the tennis court.
I have no doubt that the road itself is there physically. However, according to our map, the maintenance itself stops at the corner of parcel B.
Then it has a gravel road that goes all the way to the back, to the Matthews, which where my sister sold the property to Matthews a year ago.
And what we're asking here is that, do you have a document that's stating that you have a servitude of passage?
No, I do not. This was a public access to this property.
Yeah, you currently have public access all the way up to parcel B, but if you're subdividing, then you need to have a servitude of passage. That's the document we're requesting.
There is like a path that goes between A and B that we always access to that property. That my first cousin used for many a year before I bought it at sheriff's sale. And that's how he accessed the property, to feed and water his horses daily.
So your access is the gravel road that goes across A and then into parcel B?
There's a blacktop road in front of parcel B, and then it turns into parcel A, and it's a gravel road there. My sister used to take care of that all the time before she sold it to the Matthews.
Okay, well, on the, and Helen, correct me if I'm wrong here, or Bernie or Tom, one of you, there's a gravel road that starts on the north side of parcel A and goes across A into B and then kind of makes a little turn to the east is what it looks like.
That's correct. The road is there physically, however, it becomes a private road from a certain point. And that's where we are requesting to have, an access servitude document to be, a servitude of access document provided to us. And, now it appears that maybe other parties are using the servitude of access, the portion that is not parish maintained. So now we need to clarify. It has to be.
Who owns that gravel road?
I do not have that information right now.
Looks like it's within the boundaries of the property to me.
It's 60 feet, is it
That's what
not?
it looks like.
The question is, who's the servitude in favor of? And whether it's recorded and what the legal access is, because there's additional lots being accessed to the north. So one of the engineering comments we had was provide either the recordation number with the clerk of court or an instrument number associated with that servitude prior to executing this proposed minor subdivision. Does that make sense? That we don't want to landlock anybody or do anything that
It will
potentially
be
impacts
no
somebody's
landlock.
access.
Okay. Tom, you got any further questions?
Yeah. Exactly what does the landowner have to do to comply with the legal ramifications of all this so that she can get this done? And do we have to table this, or can we pass this tonight contingent upon her completing this process?
Well, items,
Bernie,
Okay, well, I've got 5 people. Okay. Tom?
I still haven't heard exactly what she has to do
Okay.
to comply
Helen?
with this. And I thought that we passed these contingent upon, based on,
one, two,
the
three,
petitioner complying with
2, 3, 4.
the demands of the staff.
Well, if I may answer that question, is items 2, 3, and 4, or one of the above has to be provided to be able to answer our question. So I'm not sure if that document exists or if the owner needs to do some more research to be able to provide that document at this point.
So if we were to pass this subject to these items being furnished, and then they weren't furnished, where do we go?
It would be my recommendation that if staff is requesting this recordation of the servitude or evidence of the servitude, that the commission postpone this case until that information is provided, because passing this case subject to the staff comments would invite questions in the future, and it would be better to have that documentation submitted with this application rather than passing this case subject to the staff comments.
Okay?
In particular, these comments, because we do pass items subject to staff comments all the time, but every
That's-
circumstance is different.
that's
So
correct.
This
These are-
particular case
Right.
ignores a need in advance.
Right, these are particular legal requirements and are also, this is information that's generally required by section 125, 188, the minor subdivision approval process.
Okay, Ms. McKee, you understand what we're,
No, I do not, because my property has access to the property. And it goes all the way back to Matthew's property.
well, there's apparently, based on what we're seeing on the survey,
Yes, sir.
okay, it's questionable. And what we need to do is postpone this for 1 month to give you an opportunity to get with staff and let's work this thing out so you don't have a problem and we don't have a problem and the folks, your neighbors don't have a problem. Okay? Commissioners, is that agreeable? Okay, all right. Let me go to Commissioner Tom. Is there anything else you've got right now?
I would just like for it to be spelled out by staff to
Okay.
Ms. McKee exactly what she has to do.
That
To
will-
meet this,
That will be
because-
done if we postpone this, okay?
Yes.
Commissioner Randolph.
I would like to know if Mr. Seeger is going to, do we have a motion on the floor?
No.
Not yet? I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this item for 1 month.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Randolph to postpone. Commissioner Willie.
I got questions of staff. Purcell Cemetery Road, I'm looking at this survey, what's that dotted line along the border there? It looks like it continues through A and B. So why are you saying it goes just to A?
What I'm saying is that the road, I can see what you're
It
what
looks
you're
like it's
looking-
the road goes through her property. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but at the beginning, according to our map, and it appears to that Fussell Cemetery Road Northeast, the parish maintained portion of it stops at the beginning of parcel B.
Okay, Miss McKee, she said that the blacktop went to parcel A.
Well, it is possible that I'm not
Well,
I'm not
what I'm
disputing
thinking
this.
is there's a cemetery at the end of the road.
Well, at
I don't know if
times,
the footage in the parish documents are correct or not, but that road is probably the length to the cemetery, if I had to guess.
it happens at times that there's more pavement than where we stop
Right, they may
maintaining.
not have paved the whole road. But it's still a parish road. It looks like it turns near parcel B and it heads through her property, continuing on to the cemetery. So why doesn't she have road frontage? The road goes through her property.
If you look at the survey,
I'm looking at it.
it calls it on the northern border of parcel A in the northeast corner.
Mm-hmm.
That portion is labeled as existing 60-foot servitude of passage. And back to what Mr. Seeger is inquiring about as far as kind of spelling things out, one of the items we're asking for is the instrument number that's on the clerk of court, so we can figure out who that servitude is in favor of and figure out what the extent of the servitude is. Look, it should contain a legal description and potentially an exhibit or another survey associated with it.
I know that's an old road, and those roads probably are tacit dedicated roads.
I'm not arguing or disagreeing. All I'm simply saying
And
is
that
that
cemetery.
it doesn't appear to be in the
long
parish
time.
maintenance system. It may be a private cemetery. I don't.
That may be
There's
true.
not enough information on the survey for us to be able to make discern.
But I know those old roads
the
went
entries
to
you asked for.
cemeteries, they were always in the, public works, in their records. I don't know if they got the correct length on them, but when they go to cemeteries, usually that's the parish road.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just going by what's on the survey here.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at the dotted line, that looks like where the road turns and continues on through. So,
Let's postpone it and,
but I'll keep that thought in mind when y'all have y'all's discussion about that
Okay.
road going to the cemetery. And get that part straight. Okay, I yield.
Commissioner Crawford.
Excuse me, I think we had a motion to postpone and with no second, so I'll second that motion. But I did have a question, and it's, Chris clarified everything I think that I needed to know, but just curious, if this is a parish road, if Fussell Cemetery Road continues, let's say it goes through both of these pieces of property, being a parish road, is it appropriate to be within that property boundary?
It
Okay.
happens, it's common.
That's common, okay, okay. But then there'd be a servitude attached to it, yeah. Okay. That's
Okay.
it for me.
Anything else? Well, Commissioner McInnes.
I just wanted to point out to the people who spoke in opposition that this is not changing the zoning. If this eventually gets approved, it's not changing the zoning. But it is allowing some waivers on some of the code requirements for minor subdivision. So you might want to read up on the minor subdivision. So. that's
Okay.
it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to postpone for 1 month. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Okay, thank you. All right, next item. Item 3, 2021-2553-MSP, a minor subdivision of 10.617 acres into lots A, B, and C. Owner and representative is Patrick J. Lambert, Clarence V. Lambert, and Josephine Monteleon. Parish Council District Representative, the Honorable T.J. Thomas J. Smith. Parcel located on the south side of Robert Road, Pearl River, Ward 8, District 14. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create 3 parcels from a 10.617 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcel C is requested to be accessed from a 35-foot private access servitude. And the proposed name of the access depicted on the survey shall be granted approval by the Planning Commission. The request shall be subject to items 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You are?
That was me, Josephine Mon Leon,
Okay.
in Pearl River, trying to get it split up.
Okay, and tell us what you're trying to do here, just,
Put it in 3 parcels, A, B, and C.
okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Randolph.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Randolph to approve. Commissioner Crawford.
Second the motion?
Second by Commissioner Crawford. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, we go into re-subdivision review. Item 4, 2021-2555, MRP, re-subdivision of lots 31 and 32 into Lot 31A, Bush Forest Estates, Phase 2. Owner and representative is Chad J. and Michelle Plashant. Surveyor is John Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the parcel is located on the south side of Charles Kelly Road, south of Louisiana Highway 21, Bush, Ward 5, District 6. Staff?
The owner is requesting to create one parcel, Lot 31A. The public hearing is required considering that, as stated on the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lot shall be further re-subdivided without the approval of the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Mr. and Ms. Plaisance, good evening.
Good evening. Chad Plaisance, I'm the owner of the property. Simply want to combine lots 31 and 32 into lots 31A.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
To approve?
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to approve. Commissioner Barcelona.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barcelona. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. Next item is item 5, 2021-2567, MRP, re-subdivision of Site 233 and a portion of common area into Site 233A, Phase 4, Natchez Trace. Owner and representative, Rockwell Builders LLC, Robert Rockwell. Surveyors Kelly J. McHugh and Associates Incorporated. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Marty Dean. General location, the parcel is located on the north side of Natchez Court, Covington, Ward 1, District 1. Staff?
The owner is requesting to create one site, Site 233-A. The public hearing is required considering that, as stated in the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lots shall be further re-subdivided without approval from the Planning Commission, and the request shall be subject to items 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and council and staff. My name is Robert Rockwell. I'm the owner of the property. Just to kind of give you all an idea what's happening, this is in Natchez Trace, and the Homeowners Association Board has asked me to re-subdivide it to allow a J-load, which would provide for more parking to get more cars off of the street. So this is to mostly appease the Board of Directors of the Natchez Trace Homeowners Association. I've been in front of y'all a few times before. I have only one piece after this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against on this? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Barcelona.
I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Barcelona to approve. Commissioner Randolph.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Mr. The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, tentative subdivision review, we have none. Preliminary subdivision review. Item 6, it's 2021-2565-PP, Money Hill subdivision, Golf Cottages, Phase 8A, which is resubmitted, previously approved at the January 14th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting, case number 2019-1746 PP. Developer owner, Money Hill Plantation, LLC. The engineer is J.V. Burke and Associates. Parish Council District Representative is Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located north of Country Club Drive, west of Money Hill Parkway, north of Louisiana Highway 435, Abita Springs, Ward 6, District 6. Staff?
This project originally received preliminary approval at the January 14th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting, but did not secure a work order within the required time frame, and the approval has since expired. The preliminary plans and hydrologic study have been reviewed by this office, and inspection was made of the site on October 1st, 2021. Planning Commission approval shall be subject to the following items being addressed. 1, the developer will need to contact the 911 addressing office to have the road name approved and addresses assigned for this phase. 2, provide a St. Tammany Parish stormwater agreement filled out and signed by the owner and/or contractor. 3, restrictive covenant number 1 does not supersede parish ordinance requirements listed in ordinance number 21-4593. Revise this covenant accordingly. 4, if Phase 8A is planned to be split into Phase 1 and Phase 2, the green space calculation table will need to be updated accordingly to reflect this. 5, the front building setbacks outlined in restrictive covenant number 11 are inconsistent with the required street buffers per the UDC regulations. Revise this covenant accordingly to comply with the UDC regulations. 6, the typical section shown is 50 feet wide to provide room for the proposed utilities and ditches. However, the plan sheets only show the 20-foot roadway pavement section. Revise the plans and typical sections to eliminate the conflicts and provide the required space for utility installations. 7, the proposed profile elevations shown in sheet number 4 do not match the centerline profile of the proposed street. Revise the profile elevations accordingly to eliminate this conflict. 8, revise the wet pit elevation of the sewer lift station plan sheet to reflect an elevation of 96 feet as shown on the other plan sheets and LDH permit application. 9, provide written plan approval from Magnolia Water for the proposed water and sewer plans. 10, provide written verification from Magnolia Water that the existing water and sewer systems this development is connecting to have sufficient capacity. A letter of no objection from St. Tammany Parish and LDH approval regarding the water and sewer infrastructure is required for this development. No funded maintenance obligation is required since this project will not connect to a parish-maintained roadway. And no mandatory developmental fee is required at final submittal since the public hearing was held prior to January 1st, 2005. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening again, Mr. Shane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Honorable Commission. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm at P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I have the pleasure of representing Money Hill Plantation LLC, the owner and developer of the tract that seeks preliminary subdivision approval this evening. I have Mimi Goodyear Dossett with me this evening, the president of Money Hill Plantation LLC, and Sean Burks, my engineer. In connection with staff comments, we're in full accord with all of the suggestions. We believe that these are items that can easily be taken care of in revisions that will be submitted to staff. So in light of those comments and our willingness to correct or edit as required or requested by each of those comments, we respectfully ask that you grant preliminary subdivision approval this evening. If any of you have any questions or comments, I'll be glad to address them at the appropriate time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shane.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this, on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. The rest.
Yeah, just wondering if engineering's here for your project. Do you have your engineer here with you?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to talk to the engineer for a minute, if I could. Just a question here, and it's timely since we're just coming out of another hurricane. And again, what is shown its ugly face is our failure to have backup power on lift stations for our sewage. I know it's not required by ordinance, but I wonder if in your discussions with Magnolia, if you've proposed to them anything along the lines that maybe we can get away from these overflowing lift stations and sewage systems that don't work without power because we have no means of hooking up generators or don't seem to get them there very fast or don't get vacuum trucks there very fast.
Sure, that is a requirement now with DHH. When
Okay.
we submit in, so we do have connections and we do have backup power as part of the plan.
Is there a requirement for how long before they have to get it on, do you know by chance?
I know Magnolia has a kind of a maintenance plan that's through for the whole subdivision, for every subdivision that they do. I expect fully that that's gonna be reviewed whenever we turn these plans into DHH
Okay.
again.
That's good to hear, because I particularly live in a subdivision that's serviced by Magnolia, and I can tell you that hasn't been the case, okay? So my concerns of where that raw sewage ends up, and Money Hill is a exquisite design place to live. don't think the homeowners out there would be very happy about raw sewage running down the road. So, thank you.
Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to approve. Commissioner McInnes.
Sorry, forgot about the mask. This question is for Ms. Goodyear, or Ms. Dossett, I should say. And this really is not a requirement, but I hope that you're going to consider the smoke acknowledgement language when you sell these lots. You do such great management of the longleaf pine habitat that you have out at Money Hill with prescribed burning, and want all your residents to be happy, I'm sure.
Thank you. We will certainly do that. And we do try to inform the residents and educate them about controlled burning and its benefits. So
Yeah.
thank you for all your help.
We did develop that language for your other lots. I hope you'll add it to these. And if you need it, I'll get it to you.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll put Jeff on that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, do you have something else?
I do. I'll go ahead and second the motion.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Randolph.
I was gonna second the motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Okay. All right, item 7 was postponed. Item 8. Cases 2021-2569-PP, La Cheniere Subdivision Phase 2, developer owner is BLD Investments LLC, engineer surveyors J.V. Burks and Associates, Parish Council District Representative is the Honorable Mike Smith. General location, the property is located north of Cross Creek Drive, east of South Military Road, Slidell, Ward 8, District 9. Staff?
Yes, sir. The preliminary plans and hydrologic study have been reviewed by this office. An inspection was made of the site on October 1st, 2021. Planning Commission approval shall be subject to the following items being addressed. Item 1, provide a fill and grading statement signed and dated by both the developer and engineer. 2, provide a stormwater agreement completed and signed by the owner contractor. 3, revise restrictive covenant number 3 to state whichever is greater in lieu of which is greater. 4, provide a 25-foot access and drainage servitude from La Cheniere Drive through the green space to the fill mitigation pond, and a 15-foot perimeter servitude around the pond with a minimum of 10 feet flat surface. 5, update the drainage plan to provide the proposed pipe materials for the drain lines in front of lots number 109 through 111. 6, provide proposed elevations on the plan view and cross-section for the swale through the green space area. Update the plat and plan sheets to include a drainage and access servitude for this swale that conforms to parish standards. 7, provide additional elevations for parcel G1 to show that this area will drain north to south as shown with the provided drainage arrows and not impede flow for the existing lots to the north. 8, shift the drainage invert call-out to the east of lots number 89 and number 90 to be legible. 9, label a proposed low flow channel in the fill mitigation pond. 10, provide a transverse typical cross-section for the proposed lots from property line to property line, showing lot grading including the house pad dimensions. 11, provide written plan approval from UIL for the proposed water and sewer plans. 12, provide written verification from UIL that the existing water and sewer systems this development is connecting to have sufficient capacity. 13, provide sewer calculations showing the sewer line slopes of 0.0034 have sufficient slope to achieve the required 2 feet per second clearing velocity for an 8-inch sewer line. Informational items, A letter of no objection from St. Tammany Parish and LDH approval regarding the water and sewer infrastructure is required for this development. A funded maintenance obligation, the amount of $15,000 is required in accordance with St. Tammany Parish Code of Ordinances. The original developer of Lachinier Subdivision Phase 1 entered into a voluntary developmental agreement for this development. The District Attorney's Office has determined that the original agreement is still applicable to revise Lachinier Subdivision Phase 2. The voluntary developmental agreement fees for this phase of development have been satisfied through the existing voluntary developmental agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shane.
Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I represent the owner and developer, BLD Investments LLC. I have Mr. Dustin Richard with me this evening with BLD, and also my engineer, Sean Burks. We have studied the comments and have already made many of the changes that have been requested. We have no objection to any of the suggested revisions, edits, etc. We don't believe any of them to be substantive in the sense that we're in disagreement with the request or the philosophy. It's just a matter of doing it and resubmitting it. Before sitting down and listening to the rest of the hearing, I did want to mention that in our prior hearing, Commissioner McInnes had asked us to look at the possibility of adjusting some of the elevations of the lots on the east side nearest the swamp area. And we in fact have done that. And I wanted to report that the current regulation requires BFE to be at 9 feet. The proposed regs with the parish has not adopted yet raises that to 13 feet. But in fact, all of our slabs will be at 14 feet. And most of the lots on the perimeter will actually be at 14 feet, and they have a decreased elevation as you go to the rear to about 11 feet. So that was a good suggestion. We took a look at it. We had the capacity based on the excavation that we're doing to make sure that we could bring that dirt in under the pad. And we feel very comfortable that we not only meet code, but that we also are at a good, safe level. So with those comments, we respectfully request that you consider granting preliminary subdivision approval this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shane. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Motion to approve based on staff comments.
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to approve based on staff comments. Commissioner Barcelona.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barcelona. Commissioner McInnes.
I just want to express my thanks for following through. Appreciate it. Good job.
Okay, I have a question. Sean, you made a comment on the wastewater plants that DEQ or the Department of Health, whichever one it was, indicated that they must have backup power on lift stations. Is that retroactive back maybe in the times that, well, I know that there's a lot of older plants out there that may not have lift stations on them or backup plants. Is that retroactive or do you know?
I know whatever we go to submit in for, if we turn in for a new lift station now, in fact, when we do water wells, we turn in now, they want generator sites actually designed and set up. The lift station is generally a quick connect so that you can move a generator in, and typically water wells, they want backup generator in place when you install the new well. Sewer treatment plant, they want a backup generator set up when they do the new well. That's all relatively recent.
Okay. But you don't know if the wording on it is retroactive or not?
I don't believe it is. I know whenever we submit in for our plans, we have to get an approval from the utility company. And most utility companies have a list of improvements that they want done. And there's typically a separate agreement that's put in place with the utility company and developer. And then we have to get approval from Environmental Services and then DHH. So we kind of have three groups that take cracks at it to give statements and opportunities for improvements.
Okay, I'll call you tomorrow and discuss that a little bit more, because there is a problem in Lake Village with UIL.
Okay,
And I want to get a little bit more information, but I don't want to hold the meeting up.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this item? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Let's see, we've already even had a vote on it, right?
Yes, Vincent Barcelona.
Motion and a second. Okay, please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, final subdivision review. We have a waiver request. Developer owners, Pierce Aluminum Company Incorporated, engineer surveyors, Duplantis Design Group Incorporated, Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Reichert Toledano. General location, the property is located on the end of Alpha Boulevard, east of Louisiana Highway 59, north of U.S. Interstate 12, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 5. Engineer requesting a waiver of 700-foot maximum street length requirement per ordinance section 125-56, parentheses D, parentheses 2. Staff?
Yes, sir. The developer's engineering firm, Duplantis Design Group, has requested a waiver of regulations of section 125-56, Part D, Subpart 2 of Parish Code. The 15-acre parcel owned by Pierce Aluminum Company is located approximately 1,000 feet east of Highway 59 at the end of Alpha Boulevard, and the proposed cul-de-sac will be located an additional 700 feet from the current end of Alpha Boulevard. This will result in a total length of roadway of 1,700 feet. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone here to represent Pierce Aluminum? Good evening.
I did not fill out a speaker form or a speaker card, but I can do that.
Okay, please state your name and address.
Paul Whittington with Duplantis Design Group, 16465 East Brewster Road, Suite 101.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So
Go
we
ahead.
have, so Pierce Aluminum has purchased 15 acres. It's at the end of Alpha Boulevard, which currently exists today. So Alpha Boulevard is probably about 900 feet to 1,000 feet east. So it already exceeds the minimum requirement of 700 feet for a cul-de-sac. So the client wants to extend the drive, a private drive. Later on, if they decide to subdivide it, it's gonna end up being longer than what's required. We don't have any direct access to other public right-of-way or other public roads, which is why we're seeking this waiver.
Okay. All right. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I will close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Willie.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Willie to approve. Commissioner Truxillo.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Truxillo. Commissioner Ress.
Question to staff, the reason for the 700-foot max for cul-de-sac, what is the basis of that?
I could answer that, but I'm gonna let talk about this.
Yeah, this one came up when we were reviewing the waiver request, actually. It's my understanding, since I've been here and trained through here, the idea behind it is to, similar to your block length, is to limit the maximum amount of length of road to where you can't essentially make it a dragway, make it a strip, you know. Limit the amount of road, you can limit how fast you can go on it, right? Without some type of traffic calming measure in between those block lengths, or start a cul-de-sac to end a cul-de-sac. Unfortunately, in St. Tammany especially, not all land is created equal to the sense where you can have cross connectivity or things of that nature. Unfortunately for this 15 piece of acre, it's situated at the end of a road, which has no other direct access to another one, which is why if you actually read through that waiver, if you read through that ordinance section that limits the maximum waiver, it does have a specific verbiage in there that says, unless, you know, extenuating circumstances exist, then, yeah, it's that section right there. But, so essentially, from my understanding, it is to try to limit how long you make a road. So if you have the ability to interconnect provide cross connectivity, things of that nature, this ordinance prohibits you from just not doing it because you say, hey, I just want to make one long road and put lots on all sides of it. Fortunately, not all the land is able to accommodate that, so there's stipulation to waive it. Hopefully I answered the question, didn't get too wordy.
Yeah, I know in some subdivisions, it hasn't been allowed, okay? Of course, when there's homes and people coming in and out of driveways, it's a little different than an industrial area with one major project at the end. I always thought there was something to do with emergency vehicles too, being able to not have to go the length of a road a long length if they got out of whack. Am I missing something there?
I know there is a little bit of truth to that with some of them, where they don't want to have to go all the way to the end of the road and then try and turn around. But actually on this one, there's an existing turnaround at the end of Alpha, 1,000 feet from Highway 59.
Oh, there is a turnaround there right now?
Currently, yes, sir.
Okay, so you got one at 1,000 feet,
And there'd be
and
a
there's gonna be
subsequent
the other
one.
one at the other end.
Yes, sir.
So it's about as good as you're gonna do at this point, probably. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, right?
Correct.
Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, request petition. Item 10 is Ashton Oaks Subdivision, Phase 4, Lot 108, case number SD 03-10-014F4, approved at the August 10th, 2004 Planning Commission meeting. The debtor was Leon Lowe and Sons Incorporated, Mr. Toby Lowe, engineer J.V. Burks and Associates, Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Chris Cagnolette. General location, the property is located on the east side of East Redbud Drive, east of Louisiana Highway 11, north of U.S. Interstate 12, Slide L, Ward 8, District 8. Request to revise partial denoted on the recorded plat from reserved for future right-of-way to Lot 108. Staff?
Yes, sir. The developer, Mr. Toby Lowe, has submitted a petition to the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission to amend the use of the reserve for future right-of-way parcel on the Ashton Oaks Subdivision Phase 4 recorded plat from reserve for future right-of-way to a residential lot denoted as Lot 108. Should the Planning Commission approve the requested petition, an act of amendment will be required to revise the Ashton Oaks Subdivision Phase 4 recorded plat to officially change reserve for future right-of-way parcel to Lot 108. This office has reviewed Mr. Lowe's request, and there's no longer a need for this future right-of-way, as the adjacent property has been fully developed without a connection. Therefore, staff has no objection.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Steve DeVerney, here this evening representing.
Sorry you had to wait through all
No, it's
this.
fine. I got to see a lot of old friends. I haven't been here in a while. Anyway, Leon Lowe and Sons developed the 4 phases of Ashton Oaks. When we got down to the final phase, and it was submitted for final approval, the plat, there was a discussion about whether or not there should be a step out to the adjoining vacant raw ground to our east. The homeowners in the earlier 3 phases were concerned about it. They had an objection to tying into a property that they had no idea what the plans were for the future. The commission decided that it would be a fair and equitable thing to go ahead and take one of the lots, it was an approved lot, it's on the plats, Lot 108, and designate on it a reservation for possible future right-of-way if needed. And the plat got recorded that way. This was in 2004. That Lot 108 has been in existence since 2004. We've received tax bills every year since 2004, and here we are 17 years later. But the adjoining property is finally fully developed as Ashton Park. The 5th and final phase was recorded in 2020. So everybody's come to the conclusion, we've made our petition, that let everybody take a look at it, make sure there's no need for it, and the conclusion from engineering, as confirmed in their statement, was there was no further need to continue to encumber Lot 108 with that reservation. So all we've asked for is a minor amendment to the subdivision plat to simply remove that language. We're not creating a lot. The lot's been there all these years, been acknowledged. We pay taxes on it. The only thing has been that it had been reserved, if necessary, to provide additional access to the adjoining property. That has not happened, it was not necessary. So that's our whole petition, just simply to file an amended plat for Phase 4. And that drawing is in here, Sean Burks did it for us. And it just shows Lot 108 formally designated as a reserve for future possible right-of-way. So that's it. That's all there is to it.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. I don't see anybody else out there in the audience, so I don't think we're gonna have to see if anybody else wants to speak.
That's a good thing about being last.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Randolph.
Yes, sir. Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Randolph to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Any further discussion? Please vote. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a nice evening.
Motion to approve carries.
All right, we go to old business. All right, the item 11 was withdrawn. That was case 2021-2472-MSP. That's been withdrawn. We go to case 12, entering Parish right-of-way, resolution number 20-06, 8th Avenue / Alexisville subdivision. The debtor's JSB Three Rivers LLC, Mr. John Bowers. The third engineer is Aero Engineering and Consulting. Parish Council District Rep is Honorable Riker Toledano. General location, the property is located west of Echo Street, north of Three Rivers Road, west of US Highway 190, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. The developer requesting an extension of time to complete work. Staff?
Yes, sir. The above referenced resolution was adopted on July 13th, 2020. The resolution states that the petitioner submit all documentation required within 1 year from the date of adoption. Additionally, petitioner has 2 years to complete all work on this project. If not completed within 2 years, approval of this work will be voided and petitioner will be required to reapply for permission. As of the date of this letter, our office has not received the required documentation. The Executive Project Manager, Ms. Rachel Barnett, has requested an extension of time to submit required documentation. The Department of Engineering has an objection to this extension.
Thank you, Chris. All right. No one's in the audience, so I'm gonna close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Chris, did you say you did not have any objections?
We have no objections, sir.
Move for approval?
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Just a question. I don't see in her email, but did she indicate any time frame? Or is your extension, is there a limit for the extension if we grant it, or is it unlimited?
I would say it's limited to 1 year.
Okay.
As far as the maximum, but we were gonna leave it up to you guys really to determine, as they didn't request an amount of time. But, I mean, I think 1 year would be respectable.
Okay. No, I think they would be in conflict of that 2 year anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this would be the 1 year for the documentation and 2 years for the, I'll second the motion.
Okay. Tom,
Yeah, are we specifying 1 year?
1 year limitation, right? Okay, and second by Patrick. What's been the holdup on this thing?
COVID,
Huh?
COVID, Category 5 hurricane. Well, I mean, that's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna pick one of the two. They have two great excuses. I'd use them.
Too bad.
I would.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Pardon? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, under new business, we have none. We have an adjournment. Motion to adjourn. Thank you.